What did you see? Just overall, it's a lot of reading, but did something stand out to you?
Well, overall, I was very happy to see that they are when put out a search warrant for the Strava information. I've always thought that was very important because he's a runner. I think it's also important because the prosecution is going to have to show or want to show that the person who committed this crime is in good shape, good physical shape to commit these heinous acts that require a lot of physical ability. So that stood out. The June 23rd date certainly stood out because they've already gotten search warrant information from the time in August backwards. But why did they feel the need to do these search warrants for not only Snap, but simultaneous AT&T to the 23rd? It stands out. They found something. They want to corroborate it.
And what about the whole August 1st? Nothing to see past then. That was weird to me. There were still several months before the murders.
Well, I believe that those documents were in another document display that we saw early on that included those dates, as I recall.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Again, however many terabytes, I can't keep it straight. All right. So, Sara, I always feel weird when I see requests for the digital footprint of victims, and in this case, victims and the housemates. And I should be really clear that this was like prosecution. This is investigators. This isn't the defense, right? This is the prosecutors asking for all of the communications of the victims. So walk me through what they're looking for. Are they trying to troubleshoot, deflect what the defense might bring at them? Or are they looking through any portal they can to find motive?
Well, maybe, but also you have to remember that, you know, these digital footprints are in all cases now these days, but most people don't even communicate by cell phone. They communicate by DM. But the idea here is that sometimes they don't find it in one person's account, and they might find it on the other party's account. So there's a way to sort of, it gives them the ability to pair this information up. But I do agree with Jennifer in that I too am very thrilled that this indicates to me that there is a very comprehensive investigation being done, which is really good for both sides. And I think that, remember that Kohberger might have an alibi. Looking at the victims is important also to potentially other suspects. So this makes me just as happy as it does Jennifer. But the idea of the language that stuck out at you, Ashleigh, it doesn't to me at all. I went back to the Idaho Rules of Court 32I, which is sort of where this all comes from for sealing and redaction. And this is one of many, these 4 reasons of cause that they've listed in this order is part of a longer list of bases for which a document can be sealed or redacted. And essentially, when you read this code, it's not about, oh, bingo, aha, there must have been some evidence, and therefore we need to redact and seal. It's not about that at all. It's about whether potentially what might come up in the returns is a part of a protected class of information. And when you read the code, Ashleigh, it's really all about privacy and protection and the integrity of the investigation, privacy of individuals, not just as to identifiers, but also as to conversations, photographs, videos. I mean, the breadth of these warrants is so vast. And, I think in the Dateline piece that Jennifer was on, there was an interview with a woman that had met Kohberger on a dating app, for example, right? I mean, those conversations, I imagine, we're sitting here saying he's incel. We don't know that. And he had this conversation with this woman on this dating app. That's private, and that's private to a person that's not even part of this case. So when you look at it, I know I can understand why it jumps out at you that, oh, intimate, highly objectionable to a reasonable person, but it really is part of a broader code section that protects privacy.
Makes perfect sense. And I'll just reread it just because you gave that great explanation. The documents contain highly intimate facts or statements, the publication of which would be objectionable to a reasonable person. I actually went right to the privacy of the victims and the housemates in this. I didn't go to the privacy of Kohberger. But Sara, just to be clear, you're saying it would protect the privacy of all parties? Is that what that meant?
Yeah, all parties and third parties too, right? So if I was a woman, saying, "Hey, Bryan, you're sexy," or whatever, sending whatever people do, those illicit photos that they do on apps. I mean, nobody wants that stuff out there. So I think it's the overall protection of privacy, of financial information, of identifiers, all of it. And, you can't just seal a document or redact a document without stating why. And so I think that in this order, the court is specifying the categories under this code that some of this, information in the inventories might fall under. Can I just make one more point, Ashleigh? Because I think
Absolutely.
it's important for the defense. I don't take lightly the detective, the IO, who wanted additional time on the returns, like 3 weeks. He said that for 3 weeks, he's undergoing training. 3 weeks, I think Jennifer would agree, is not a short amount of time for training in law enforcement. And so I would really cross-examine him on what the hell is this training about that you're doing in the midst of this high-profile investigation? Did you not have forensic training before? This was forensic training. So to me, that's a big question on cross-examination.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.